is Tuesday, not
March
Monday.
16th.
Yes, March 16th. And we delayed our welcome to Cognitive Brew with Travis and Laura.
And I will be the one to say that it was a great reason for the delay. After 45 days apart, we are back together again, as you can see. And she was traveling all day yesterday, so.
Yeah, so we did a big to-do about my 30 days on the road. I left February 1st.
Yes.
And it was supposed to be for the month of February. I was going to be on a little travel journey, and it turned into, landing basically. It was a road trip, but I landed in South Carolina, and we found our home. And so I stayed extra long.
We bought our home.
Yeah. So we're now pending for sale in Washington, on the West Coast. And we're pending for purchase on the East Coast. So it's very exciting.
And it's chaos.
Whatever. If this is chaos, no one is going to feel too sorry for us.
No.
We're basically having to, I just got here, but he's been having to, for the last month, wander around a staged house,
yes.
Not allowed to touch anything.
So I'm in our cool home with none of our stuff. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. So, I like to share my mug of the day. I have a little story to go with this too. While I was in South Carolina, actually, when I was in Myrtle Beach, North Carolina, where Travis's mom lives. Myrtle Beach is south? Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought it was north. So while I was in Myrtle Beach, I was with Travis's mom, and we went garage sailing one day, and I found this little mug, and I haven't even put my coffee in it yet because, can you see it? The cute little giraffe on the inside.
Here's my reaction. This is my reaction.
It's cute.
Hold on. This is the bottom of the thing. They paid $5 for it. You got it for $1.
I got it for 50 cents.
That girl.
Yep. So
she's
I think it's pretty cute. May I have some coffee, please?
Yes, you may.
Today, and then of course, Travis's t-shirt of the day, 0 days without sarcasm. And that will be true every day for the rest of his life. Thank you, sir.
I just poured creamer on the giraffe's head.
He probably liked it.
Like, oh, that was a warm, soothing bath. Now he's screaming.
Oh.
Okay, sorry about that.
Wow. So today we're going to talk about coffee is for closers.
Yes.
We're talking, cheers.
Cheers.
We're talking about, this month, our whole focus is on the legacy selling system and how to really attack your day in sales.
Well, last month, to circle back a little bit, we covered the explanation of value, and the legacy selling system is just another component, another leg to the stool, if you will, on that system.
Yes. And then the third leg to that stool really, truly is an incredible follow-up.
Yep. And which we will cover next month.
Yeah. But we are going to talk a little bit today about, you really can secure a client in less time than it takes to get this coffee. How can we do that? Well, part of it is just all about building rapport. You can know immediately whether or not somebody is in your, interested in your service, especially if you get really good at describing your service and explaining your value.
Mm-hmm.
You can get real clear if they're a potential.
If they're interested or not.
Yeah, if they're interested or not. And when they say or not, that's great, because then you can focus your time more on the people who are. Yep. So I really, this legacy selling system spoke to me too, because I'm not interested in pushing somebody. I can't force sell. And so knowing that part of the selling process is it being completely okay to get to the no, move beyond that, and find the people who actually want to be in business with you and want to.
Yeah, you have your statistical people of 16% that are going to be the early adopters, and then
they're just going to love you right from the get-go.
Well, who doesn't love her? So, and then you'll have your laggers, the innovators of the next one, then your laggers, and then your people that'll never do it. So
yeah, so basically that's 32% of the people with just a little bit of nurturing. They'll either love you right away, or with a little nurturing, really be interested in your product or service. And 32% is not a bad number.
No, it's not. And like Laura said, is getting to, actually, it's getting to the early no, honestly, is, you're going to establish rapport, as you mentioned. but getting to that know of, you don't want to pressure people, and why waste your time on somebody that's never going to buy? Hey, if they're going to ask for a brochure, that just means they want out of the conversation, truthfully. They might be on a drip system where you going to send them some information along, and who knows, eventually one day down the road, they may be like, oh yeah, I remember talking to that guy or that gal, and that was kind of interesting. And that could be a diamond in the rough, if you will.
And that's okay. That's why it's really great to have systems. So as part of the system, it's about how to attack your day. So you have your, your top 25, those people that you think would be really interested in your, your hit list. So you have your hit list, those people that you know would, or you believe would be interested in your product or service. So those, those you want to reach out to, find out, get to the no, get to the yes, build rapport. The farm club are, that's your next little list of people who have really,
shown an interest.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you. They've shown an interest. And so now it's just about nurturing them into conversion. And then your database, that's where you really get good with your nurture system, the kind of the automated, the background stuff that happens even when you're sleeping. So it's really great to have that system as well, because then it's still making those touches, but it's,
Yes.
And then hopefully they'll see your stuff a few times, and pretty soon they'll be on your farm club, and then you can nurture them. And so it's a wonderful little rotating system.
Yeah. So it's a whole system.
Yeah. So then the next part of it, which I really love, because I love people, I love getting to know people. And so the next 3 lists are basically all under, becoming a person of interest. So your connectors, those people who can, they're not necessarily going to be a client of yours, but they can connect you with other people.
Promoters.
Yeah, exactly. Promoters. And then of course your past clients who can, refer you, write testimonials for you, always staying connected to those and constantly providing value so that, that you have this reciprocation as well.
Yes.
So, and then of course, your top 25, and keeping in touch with those people who really love you, who are advocates for you, again, promoters for you. So that side they're all about promoting you and staying top of mind with them and providing value to them and seeing how you can make their world bigger so that.
Yeah. And the best sort of promoter is somebody that actually does a great introduction when you're not in the room.
Yeah. So we will, on March 23rd, we're going to dig deep into using those lists, how to attack your day, making, time blocking for it, how many reach outs you should have, how the frequency and consistency of it, because there is a bit of a,
it's a follow-up system.
Yeah. So, and I love that. So one of the things we did do some training on was the NLP sales system as well.
Yeah, the NLP sales system, it's really interesting. It covers a lot of what Laura just spoke about, but at the end of the day, the first thing is to establish rapport and really be listening to your client of what their needs are. And there's lots of clues with the sensory factors that we have. There's in NLP world, it's VACOG, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, cognitive, olfactory, and gustatory. So it's all your senses combined. And depending on how a person is going to communicate with you, you can understand what type of person they are. If they're a visual person, they might say something to the effect of, "Oh, well, the way I see it." If they're a touchy-feely person that needs to be more, for lack of better words, intimate.
Yeah, so it feels like to me.
It feels like, yes. And so just really relate to that. And it's not word trickery. It's just understanding your client and who you're talking to.
It's all about communication, right? But we like to be talked to in certain ways. And so,
yes.
Being open to understanding how they communicate, and so that, and it builds better, it just builds rapport quicker. When you're paying attention to those little details, you can connect with someone faster.
Yeah. And then you're going to want to link your product or service to a value. So find out what their value system is whether it's buying a home, buying insurance, buying a car, whether it be buying a brick of cheese. I myself like really sharp cheddar. And it's like, if I'm talking to the cheese person at the deli counter, I'm going to want the crazy cheddar with the hard crystals in it versus some, mild, bland cheese for a particular sandwich or something. I don't know where I went with that one, but crazy.
I don't know, but you know what it made me think of? It made me think of, it doesn't matter what you are a salesperson for, you better know your product so that you can build rapport, so you can, have those conversations.
You can have a verbal experience with somebody,
yes,
establishing that value and link, and have an understanding of what they're looking for. So once you've determined what that person's value is, what they're seeking for, again, for whatever product or service it is, then it's link your product or service, solve the problem for them. Yeah. It's like, I'll go back to the deli counter. It's like, wow, I'm making this kind of sandwich. Well, I've had the experience before where somebody says, wow, this type of cheese really goes good with that type of meat when you're trying to entertain for a party. And I call myself an amateur chef, but it's, kind of fun to get tips every now and again. And then, so once you've established rapport, you've understood their value, you've linked the value, now you're going to go for the sale. So you have to ask for the close. And so, does this interest you?
Or not.
Or not. And it's okay if they say, it doesn't. It's like, all right, move on, next task, have a great day. Or if you either have not established enough rapport, it doesn't fit for them, because there's 3 objections. They don't believe you, they don't think it'll work for them, or it's a money question.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 objections you're really handling. If you've not failed to connect all 3 of those, go back to step 1, establish rapport, link the value, and it's like a shampoo bottle. Wash, rinse, repeat as needed.
Yeah. Well, and I think that I got a little less afraid of sales. I was afraid of sales. I'm going to say it. And it's nerve-wracking to reach out to people and, feeling like you are bothering them with your product or service. But really, if you love your product or service, and you think of it about how you can bring value to their life, then it should be less scary. And then having a system to attack the day and really know how, taking the time to understand how to build rapport, how to understand people's communication. We use the DISC assessment for lots of different things, but one of the things that you can really learn from it is how people like to be communicated with. Same with NLP. DISC is a very similar tool that can help you. So if you are struggling with that part of it and you want some help on learning how to communicate with people of different types, we'll get into that a little bit on the webinar. But
yeah, that's actually a really fun exercise. It's not about reading somebody and pigeonholing them in a box, if you will. It's really about just trying to further establish rapport.
Yeah. Yeah.
And understanding how your personality type can better communicate with other personality types. And that's really been the most fun.
Yeah, I agree. So we are excited to present that webinar next Tuesday at 8:00 Eastern time. I'm still trying to think about, I am going to be living there in a month. We are going to be living there in a month. And so we'll speak a lot in Eastern time zone just to get ourselves used to it. But basically that's 5 p.m. here on the West Coast and 8 p.m. on the East Coast. And we're really excited about that. So, I do want to get a little bit more, and I'd love for you to tell the story that happened to us this week, because Travis is fantastic at building rapport with people. He has never met a stranger.
And my mom used to tell me that at the flea market growing up in Florida and stuff. It's like, you talk to everybody. It's like, I can't help it.
And that's why it was top of my mind, actually, because I was just with his mom and she said that.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. And she said that. And I couldn't agree more.
That's cute.
So,
so this happened this week in the last couple of weeks. So we thought we had a beautiful home, and with all our beautiful furniture, we had a designer pick colors and couches and all this stuff. And then it was advice to us. And I'll give props to Michelle Harrington. She's our realtor here. I referred us to a company called 4 Branch Design. Also give props to them. Anyway, she came in and gave us a bunch of suggestions. They did an assessment, said, this is what we would do to stage your home. And of course, I'm like, what's wrong with our home the way it is? And of course, they had us do a bunch of work, like, I don't know, repaint the inside after, I don't mean to be frustrated by that, but I'm not actually. I actually love this color a lot. I actually love this color a lot more.
I'm sure you can see it. And so isn't it lovely?
So, Laura was gone at this point. You were on your trip.
Yeah.
And all this is happening, and literally everything upstairs is not ours. It's out in the garage, and there's some personal feelings about that. And anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm helping them move stuff around. I'm following their list to the letter, do this, do this. I'm doing all that. Well, I ended up in a discussion with Kimberly, and she's looking at all our leadership books, and you know, she got in a discussion about what we do, shared that story with her. So, you know, start with a belief statement, you know, we believe this, and as a result of that, we do this. And anyway, she saw the stack of IL books.
Okay.
And so I gave her an IL book, and we
Oh,
ended up in a conversation. Anyway, to fast forward to the point of the story is sharing a value. And, you know, for privacy's sake, I won't tell you what the numbers were, but I really felt that their service,
they're incredible. So we not only do want to give props,
mm-hmm.
you know, we really want to give a big shout out to Four Branches. They did a great job. But.
Yeah. So the discussion ended up of how is it possible that you guys could be profitable at the rate they charged us, when I'm able to sit back, see the manpower they brought, the trucks, I mean, literally everything in here is not ours, including the fake plants with no water. I mean, literally Laura's gone. I watered this thing and there's no water in it. And I'm running around watering plants, and it's like there's that. So we had a great discussion, and it lent itself to.
It was a great coaching moment. Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
It was a really great coaching moment about being able to talk about your value and take your value seriously. So often people in sales, especially when they're selling themselves, you know, their own service, are afraid to charge. They hate, you know, even quoting themselves. Like that's a struggle that is very common. And so really owning your value, being able to talk about it, being comfortable with and owning what you charge, that's a huge part of the selling process. Mm-hmm. And so he was able to coach them to that. And I thought that was really incredible, because you never know when, I mean, that wasn't a selling moment for him at all. It was just him adding value to someone else and sharing what he's passionate about. And so that's why I love the story. I love the fact that, you know, again, it goes back to the selling system as a 3-part, really being comfortable with what you do. They're experts in what they do. Mm-hmm. They're so gifted, and they're wonderful people to work with and deal with. So don't be afraid to, you know, charge what you're worth. Do not be afraid to charge what you're worth. Especially when you're first getting started. A lot of new people, including myself, when I started coaching, the fear around, you know, charging too much. Do I have enough experience? Feeling credible, feeling, you know, those imposter syndrome. So, so many people, I was just reading that book from that cute couple. They started a design company, and she just had a gift for it. But she was so afraid to charge her value. So that's why I wanted you to share that story.
Well, and the point that I gave her is that at the end of the day, the point I gave her is if you don't charge appropriately for it, there is no value for it. And that is the truth. It doesn't matter what law, you know, you can't give away a car. You got to charge for that. You can't give away a cup of coffee at Starbucks, which is now like $5. Give me a break. I mean, seriously.
But I have coffee that didn't cost me hardly anything, and in a cup that cost me 50 cents. Anyway, yeah.
So charge what you're worth. Mm-hmm. Go have a routine of your morning system, of your systematic way of approaching your clients.
If you don't know what that is, join us. And we're not giving away all of our tips today. Join us at the webinar. We're really excited about really showing you how to attack the day, how to create your lists, mm-hmm. How to put together automation, because as your client list grows, pretty soon you have thousands of people that you want to, you know, continue to have those touches, continue to have that outreach, continue to add value. And so it's really, really important to have some automation as a part of your system. And then the beautiful, beautiful follow-up, we will touch on that a little bit as well, but between this month and next month, we're going to really dig into the sales part, because we're really amping up our own company. So it's exciting to us anyway.
Yes.
And
as we go through, we'll continue to start at the beginning, and with the 3 legs to the stool, if you will, the explanation of value, the selling system, and the follow-up. We will link all 3 of these together to where it really makes sense in a cohesive way. Yeah.
You might get sick of hearing about it, but it will benefit your company. Absolutely. Hands down. You will increase your sales. You will increase your really is a feel-good system as well.
It is. Well, I got to say this coffee chat was much more fun together.
I know it's been hard having coffee chats on a Zoom call and just, so far away. So we're enjoying, I'm enjoying being back together with you too.
Me too, sweetheart.
So again, I'm going to scroll this up a little bit so I can see this is what we have going on. So the legacy selling system,
yep,
March 29th, which is a Tuesday, 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. But the other thing is, it's the end of a quarter. And, as you evaluate, you look at what the first 3 months of 2021 means, meant for you, how you did with your goals, how you were with your time management, what your numbers look like as you evaluate this. Or if you don't evaluate it frequently enough, we are doing a webinar around that too. I did a annual reflection back on January 1st, and we had some requests to have that again. So we decided to do it quarterly. So this quarter we're doing on March 31st. It's a Wednesday. It's the last day of the month and quarter. And I'm really excited to share with you the tips on, really how to get clear on where you are. You cannot measure, you cannot improve what you do not measure. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what you should be measuring, how to create SMART goals so that you can measure it, so that it's really specific and very measurable. So join us. That's March 31st, Wednesday. Again, same. It'll be 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll be on our website, which is www.highimpactleadership.com. We'll also post it in the comments.
No.
Oh, .us. .us.
.us.
That's how we can remember that.
Yeah. And so the month of April, we will launch another webinar. We haven't got the date established yet, but what you're going to hear about from us in April is we just concluded our emerging leader course. And that was a lot of fun. I learned as much as the students did, I believe.
Yeah.
I had a great time in that class. Anyway.
Well, that's the best part about it's a mastermind essentially, where you learn from each other. We bring the pearls that we have learned, but it's a opportunity to learn from others and get really clear on your own purpose and vision as well. So it's really great. It'll be May 4th.
May 4th is when it begins. It's a 12-week course on Tuesday nights. Typically an hour and 20 minutes or so are the calls. There's Q&A always. It includes assessments. It includes some self-discovery. It includes others. I'm not going to give it away. There's a lot of work. It's challenging. It's for those that want to have their leadership challenge to the skills to the next level. Yep,
for sure. And then after we go through all of these 3 parts of the stool of selling, we'll do a boot camp. So if you want to really dive real deep, really implement it into your organization, all parts of it, we will help you do that in May also with the boot camp. So that's coming up as well. I do want to give a shout out and a plug to the Success Finder. It is an app that you can download.
Brandon's brainchild.
Brandon Straza, he's amazing. And he has created this incredible one-stop shop for really boosting. There's events and coaches and everything that you need to grow your life and your business. You can find on this app. So again, it's called Success Finder.
Success Finder.
The Success Finder. But it's when you go to the app, it's shaped like a little S with a little magnifying glass. It's a really cute logo. We'll put that in the link as well. But yeah, lots of cool stuff going on. Have a fantastic week. What are you doing this week?
Getting myself ready to move.
Yeah, that takes some time. Thanks guys for joining us. If you're live with us now, or if you watch throughout the week, we're really excited to bring this content to you. So please put in the comments any thoughts, questions, or if you have any tips or tricks around sales that we missed, we'll add it to our little tool chest.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yep. Have
Cheers,
a good
everybody.
one. Cheers.